Hello, everyone. This is Sean from Tech Data. Today, I want to introduce a great use case called AI Assistant, which is not only have the generative AI, also combined with this machine learning, combined with conversational AI, automation, and app connection. And all this great technology is can be offered under one IBM product. The name is Watsonx Orchestrate. Let's jump into this use case for AI assistant. So the main benefit for AI assistant is to improve the productivity. Um, if you think about the common use case, you may heard some use case called ask something like ask HR or HR chatbot or ask sales, which give you information very easily and also to take some actions for a repetitive task. So that is great use case for AI assistant. And for today, I will give you two quick demos which use AI assistant to improve the productivity. The first one I called it is carbon data estimator assistant. Um, in Australia or in worldwide, the business organization may be required to report their carbon footprint, depend on their size and their revenue. So for carbon footprint report, there's a three scope. One they call scope one, two, three, and scope one and scope two is relatively straightforward, like how many electricity you use, how many gasoline or fossil product you consumed. That one is easy to do. And scope three is mainly mean the everything else, uh, which is mainly from your supply chain activity. One approach to do that is to use your spending data or transaction data. For each transaction you have, will have some associated CO2 emission. And to get that CO2 estimation, what you can do is first you will classify your spend activity um, to a category. And this category will have, in Australia, I think there's over 150 different category for you to classify. Then for each category, there is a factor. Um, for example, we can see here column A is the category. There's a different category depending on your spending activity. For example, this one could be something for your mobile phone service. Then each of this category have a factor. This column um, is the one you can use to multiply your purchase price. Then, for example, your purchase price for this phone call service is $100, then you just use that $100 and multiply this factor, get your CO2 emission. So this task is not complex, but you can see is will be time consuming for people to check each of them your in each of this spending activity and get the output. So for today, what we will do is we use all the different technology we mentioned before, generative AI, app connection, machine learning, and to help employee do the carbon estimation very easily and improve the productivity. Now let's switch to the demo environment. So what we are seeing now is the chat window, and within this window, think about I'm the person who need to do this carbon footprint estimation. Um, I can easily go to this pre-built workflow to go through that steps. Then I just need to click the workflow I want to use, and it will first step trigger to get all the invoice data from my systems. For example, all this data is from my Square account. For this purpose demo, we don't need all this information. For example, I just need the description for the spending and the title for spending. Now I that will be sufficient for me to start the carbon estimator. Then I can pick one spending activity, for example, this furniture one. The next step is to get this information. For example, the information we need is purchase price and this description. And with this description, we will call a customized text classifier to classify that description to this carbon category we just saw on Excel. Then this is output for the classifier. We have the class name and this confidence score associated with this category. Then we can quickly check the top ones. The first one looks good. Now we know what category is. We'll now have a lookup to find the emission factors associated to this category. That is automation at the backend. Now we have the emission factor. The last step is just easily to multiply the price we have here with this emission factor to get the CO2 emission um, estimation. Now I can, if I am good with this one, I can just start with the next one by click this button again. It will take me back to the beginning and pick the data I want. So that will be this process for you get your estimation. Now let's say if I have all the estimation for my invoice data, I want to generate an internal communication node with our carbon footprint. Now here is the input form. Ask more details around your company, around your carbon reduction plan. You can fill in all the detail you want. Then we just click apply, and here all the information was sent to a generative AI model we have on Watsonx.ai, and that will generate internal communication node in email format. And so here we can have this generated, we'll say like a draft with all the information you have. You can further add it and make sure nothing wrong here, and also put some content in the email format. For example, the subject I want to update. Then you can put your receiver yourself at a receiver to further edit. Then again, click apply. So this is the carbon data estimator demo to show how AI assistant can help employee to improve the productivity. And this use case can be easily repurposed for another scenario. For example, this one is upsell assistant. So think about this one is an insurance salesperson. Every day it will go to the Salesforce to check the customer information. If the customer have some recent change, like they bought a new vehicle, their the age turned to a certain age, there will be opportunity for upsell or change, cross sell. Then we will have some automation to give the recommendation what product you can sell and generate this upsell email or offer in this AI assistant. So let's quickly see that demo. Back to here, let's clear the history. So to start, again, we click this button. I know this is a workflow I need. The first step is go to Salesforce, get all the customer information with their recent change. The children turned 25, bought a new vehicle. So then we can start with this one, Oliver. Then here we just run the automation to first it will give you recommendation for what uh, product you can sell, and also give you some the prompt to generate that upsell email, and you can further edit this prompt to make it more relevant. Now you just click apply. It will call generative AI again to generate an email draft. And this will take around 20 seconds. And very similarly, in the email, you can further edit. You can put more personal touch on this to polish further and send to your customer. Um, so there will be many other use cases for AI assistant. I think now will be great to show how easily we can build this, or we can repurpose this to a different scenario. So if we go to another page under Watsonx Orchestrate, so this page we have here is more for the user. If you are a developer, you will see more content here, like under the build section. Under the build section, there is two main concept for us to build AI assistant. The first one is called skill. Um, a skill you can easily understanding like the skill for a task. For example, a skill for send an email, a skill to take in some user input, a skill to classify the carbon data. So all that is skills. Um, then another conception is automation. For automation, you can think about like a rule-based automation, or it can be a machine learning prediction automation, or it can be a generative AI automation to generate that email. So all this is under automation. And with automation plus skills, we will create these workflows. Now I will take the carbon demo for example. If we take a look for the workflow we created, um, you can see it is really a click and drag experience. So the first step is go to Square to get all my invoice data. And here you just very easily to define your input data. For example, the input here, I have the location ID, which mean which location of my business I want to get the invoice. Then the output is here, the skill response, all this output. Now you add an input form, another skill. You can further define what data you need from the previous skill as a to send to the next step. Now here we have another skill to do the classifier. Here you have input, and you the input one you can easily get from the previous skill. For example, here the previous one is input form, and under input form we can just pick the description. Um, Very similar idea for all the following steps. You just click and drag and make sure the input and output data mapped. Um, that is the workflow we created. If we double click on this workflow for each skill, so how do we create a skill? For that one, there's a two way to create a skill. The first one is um, we already have building skills in Watsonx Orchestrate. For example, here is all the skills we have from different application. The Watsonx, Amazon, Microsoft Azure, ClickSend, DocuSign, Salesforce. All this is built-in applications, and under each applications you have many different skills. To add these skills, what you need to do is easily just go to the application you want to do, and then you need to authentication to connect to this application. Then here's connect to the app. It will redirect you to this application website to ask you to log in. Give it a second. Yeah, here you just log in with your information. Then you will have the skill you need. Let's say, for example, I log in now. I use my Gmail. Then here is information to make ask you to confirm, connect to the Calendly. Here we go. Your application is connected. Um, Now, let's see. Let me refresh. Here we go. It show connected. Now, all the skills under this application, you can just click this add skills. It will show up and for you to use. Um, so that is one way to create a skill. Another way is like, for example, your skills or application is not built in yet. So what you can do is you can, for example, this one I have this skills is from IBM Natural Language Understanding, which I use to classify the spent data to a carbon category. This one is not built in yet, but I have this one as a API REST API service for the classifier. Then I can just easily go to Skill Studio one more time, then create a skill, import API. So here I will import open API file. It's more like a definition file to tell Watsonx Orchestrate how to use your REST API. So for this one, many service or application already have this open API file. You just need to find them and upload here. Then after you upload, there will be some uh, security like authentication input for you to connect to the skill like what we did for Calendly. Very simple. No code need for you to do the authentication authorization is already built in. Um, so that is the first concept on the skill. Another one is regarding the automation. The automation here can be just simple as a rule-based model, or it can be more advanced for machine learning, predictive or generative AI. So for the generative AI, I had on the carbon estimator is this one. As we can see, there is like a prompt lab setup where you give your instruction. Here you have your prompt input, and this is the input variable we need from the user input. Then you can give more examples here as for the model to perform better to give more accurate response. So that then you after you have that, you will go to publish, and here you have different version. You pick the version you want, click publish. Then you have this generative AI as a new skill in your for you to use to build a AI assistant. Um, Another one automation is very simple. There will come to this low code experience. You need a little bit coding. Will be this rule based model. So for example, the one we have is the emission factor lookup. Basically, you have the carbon category. You want that category as an input and find the emission factor as an output. Here is this more like a rule-based automation I created. The input data is basically your uh, carbon category. Then your emission factor here, the logic is like a lookup table, literally a lookup table. To do that, what I do this one is just copy this from my Excel and paste in this lookup table. Very easy to do. Another one is this CO2 calculation. This one will be this a little bit coding came in. So here you basically what you do, you define the variable value from input, And here, just this one line code is for your calculation. As you can see, it's very similar to the natural language for to get a um, value for the input variable is even uses like the price of the variable name. So very easy to understanding. So that is basically the essential part we need to build a workflow, and that workflow can be your AI assistant to simplify, automate your business process. And after you build this one, you can publish this to your coworker or to your customers to easily use that. That will be the demo for today. Feel free to reach out uh, if you have any other questions or if you have a use case you want to try in this environment. We will Tech Data can provide this access to build your demo or proof of concept for your customer. Thanks for watching today.